what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's start with the scrimmage. So obviously, though, like Jake said, I was at the lake, so I did not go to the scrimmage. I'm sad and mad because it looked like a bunch of the old partners were at it, at the player only, or not player only. I think it was open to the media as well. But they had a day kind of honoring some of the former players. Looked like you saw some war daddies. We can get into that.
I got asked where T-Bob Hebert was.
I know, I figured, dude.
About 97 times.
I figured, dude. That sucks.
And I was
I'm
like,
bummed.
look. I mean, you only get so many lake weekends. And so they understood.
Yeah, look, that is Toledo been always has been my entire life, and now with kids, it's just doubled down on being like literally my favorite place on the entire earth. It is my Happy Gilmore happy place, only without little people riding tricycles around. Though I guess I'm not opposed to that in terms of things that could go down in the bin, but. Yeah, I had to get it in before we lock in for 7 months.
Yeah,
or however long it is.
Look, I'm a little jealous that you had that opportunity. Now it was fun to go to the scrimmage. It was fun to see the War Daddies.
Give me y'all's. Taylor, I'm assuming you went.
Surprise of the week.
Do your
I know,
job,
I was supposed
dude.
to. Something came up.
What are you even doing?
I couldn't go.
Yeah, worrying about your puppy's weight. Not even.
So, Jake, you're the only one who went. Give us your biggest takeaway. Mar, did you go?
No, I did not.
I didn't think so.
Okay, so
your biggest takeaway.
The scrimmage portion of it, everywhere you look, Caleb Jackson is going to be the news, going to be the story. I get it. And we talked about him, I think, was it last week, Taylor? We talked about him. And when T-Bob was out, you said he was the guy you were looking forward to the most of any player in training camp. And so Taylor's been on this really early, and he looks the part. He is somebody that is going to have a role. It might be a small role on this team, but he's going to have a role. And that's a deep running back room. So I don't know how it plays out. But he definitely shined. I mean, he had the 2 touchdowns there. Now, not against the first team, but still, you make the plays that he made. I mean, they're impressive, and they're going to kind of stand out. So, the scrimmage is a scrimmage. But, T-Bob, you know this as well. It was after a long practice. Then they start the scrimmage.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's valuable to be able to go out there and kind of look at it, break it down a little bit. But it's to see, hey, are you in shape? How are you going to handle the fourth quarter? And so, for me, I'll have a couple of takeaways from that, but more importantly, I'm going to take away from the one-on-ones when practice was right in the middle. I'm going to take the 7-on-7. I'm going to take, some of the drills that I saw before that. And I texted y'all because I could not wait. I was walking to the car when I texted y'all that Will Campbell might be the best left tackle in the country. He, against really good rushers, including Harold Perkins, he made it look so damn easy that I was almost shocked, and I was sitting next to someone, and I was like, did you see that? Because they were, one-on-ones were going on for the receivers and DBs over here, but I was locked in. You know me, T. I was locked in to the offense versus the defensive line. And the offensive line, as a whole, did really, really well. But Will Campbell, when I say he made it look easy, T-Bob, it looked like it was a warm-up for him. And he won every single rep. I don't know.
6-6.
I don't know that I've ever seen a tackle win every rep, because you can win every one, but really you won 4 or 6.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
One time that guy got on your edge a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe he didn't sack the quarterback.
Right, maybe, but he still would have been in pressure or hurry. You would have gotten the quarterback off his spot.
So all the reports that you've been hearing, I've been hearing about Will Campbell and him being the most difficult guy to go against, those are absolutely factual.
And I'm sure most of you know listening, but for those that don't, one-on-one pass rush is a drill that is heavily slated into onto the defender's side of the equation. In fact, if you just had I think almost the majority of just casual football watchers watch a one-on-one drill, you would think the defense won almost every single rep. Not really appreciating that. No, well, this guy would have been here, or would have been washed, because you don't have all the chaos of a full line-on-line pass rush. But I guess the point of all this is, Jake, it sounds like you're saying that Will Campbell won these reps to the extent that even the average layperson would have been able to see, okay, Will Campbell clearly won that.
Yeah, if you've never seen a snap of football, and you're like, okay, this guy's supposed to stop this guy from getting to this point, you'd have walked away impressed.
And he did it against Harold Perkins?
He did. His first 2 reps were against Harold Perkins.
Damn.
And look, Perkins is somebody, the moves didn't change. I mean, they were fast as hell, and he was about this far from the ground.
Yeah.
And Will just one hands it, this hand's free, and just keeps riding him up the rail. And I was just like, okay, I love that you said that. And that I was trying to find a way to describe it. That's the perfect way. I mean, just stayed cool and no panic, no jerky motion. And so last year, just think about where you were last year. And Will Campbell was great last year, but it was his first start.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the Superdome playing against Florida State, and he's,
Going against Jared
right
Verse.
out of high school, going against a guy that's going to be a first-round pick. And so I bring up that position because, like, across the line, like, they had 2 losses probably in the first 10 reps.
Damn. That's for real wild.
Now, like, they weren't all to the level of what Will Campbell was, but Emory Jones looked good. Dellinger looked great. So this offensive line, what last year was a real question mark, I mean, think about the shuffle that you had to have from week 1 to week 2. Now, once that week 2 lineup got in there, and they progressed, like, weeks later, they were a really good unit. But now, where you're starting to where you were a year ago, that could be a major factor. And if you're listening to this, you're like, yeah, but okay, was that an indictment on the defensive line as well? Again, like, you had some of the Jimmies and Joes going, and it wasn't what they were doing. It was what the offensive line was doing. It was really impressive. Again, probably my biggest takeaway from the practice, from the scrimmage, was just watching and honing in on those one-on-ones.
Yeah, if you see an O lineman that can consistently win one-on-ones, you see an NFL player generally when it comes to those guys. So I think we all believe that's what Will Campbell will be one day. All right, one final note then on the offensive line, and we can ask about some other positions here. I did read that they did a little interesting tinkering at time where they actually put Zalance Hurd out there at right tackle and bumped Emory Jones down to right guard. So some developing depth, as it appears that Zalance Hurd is playing well enough to at least to start to prepare him to factor in one way or another. It's weird because, again, freshman tackles in the SEC are terrifying and are something that should be avoided 99% of the time. But you didn't avoid him last year. And if you're talking about just maybe getting the best 5 from a pure talent standpoint, somebody like keeping Emory Jones, Lance Hurd, and Will Campbell all in the field at the same time seems like a very strong combination. I still, again, I don't think you start Lance Hurd or anything. I am still a little bit worried about the freshman factor there, but I'll be interested to see that kind of develop throughout the year.
Yeah, it kind of gives you an idea, T-Bob, of where their thought process would go if you struggle at one of the guards, because the tackles aren't the question. And the guards have played a lot of football in Frazier and Dellinger, but if you struggled or if you had an injury, I mean, with Garrett Dellinger, like, you have to assume there's going to be at some point a nick or what. He's had a couple of injuries in his LSU career. So if that happens, it feels like they feel better about kicking Emory down to that position and then having Hurd at tackle, which for the freshman, I mean, this man did say, I'm coming in and I plan on starting. I mean, he has got all the confidence in the world. And that's a luxury to have a guy like Emory Jones who can kick down like that, and you have a tackle that can come in. So I don't think it would be to shuffle up what they currently have, but knowing that it's the offensive line as well. You're probably going to have somebody go down interior-wise. And, if Turner went down, like, what would they do? I know we talked about DJ Chester the other day, but would they do that, or would they kick Dellinger to center? And when they kick Jones down the guard, how would that kind of work out would be intriguing to me if you got down and had a chance to sit down with Brad Davis.
Yeah, I think I still got to think just specifically with Turner, either Dellinger or Marlon Martinez.
I think Martinez,
but then I don't know.
To be honest.
But Marlon's a rep at guard. But it's like, but doing it, is Chester really ready to make all those calls in a game?
And I mean, there was a couple times where he was really high. And what we say
he's like 6'5".
Yeah, playing center. That's pretty difficult. And there was a couple times
one that I've ever seen do
there's
that.
a couple times that they got underneath him, and I was thinking about you because I'm like, yeah, T-Bob and I talked about this, and you would know better than certainly any of us here. So Marlon Martinez has been working at guard. If Charles Turner goes down, I think actually he would be the center. How difficult is that if you have not repped that? Is that something that's like riding a bike? You can snap it, you're good?
I don't think it should be particularly difficult, but then is he not actively repping it? Like, I used to rep all 3 interiors constantly during practice. I would do a 2-2-2-2 rotation, like 2 left, 2 center, 2 right, 2 out. But no, I mean he's put enough time in at center where I don't think it should be any big ordeal. So the offensive line looked really well though. Looked really good. Looked great, I guess. Because that feels like maybe the strength of this team. Potentially. It's very rare. In fact, I don't know when's the last times I've been watching LSU football that I've ever seen all 5 starters come back. Especially not with 2 tackles that start as freshmen, and obviously the hype is out of control.
I'm trying to think of an offensive line. I mean, in the totality of the offensive line, would it have been like y'all's group that you felt this good about? I'm sure I'm missing a group.
We didn't have any NFL players. You know,
we didn't
were a
either.
Scrappy college O-line. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, they have NFL players.
Guys.
But I'm saying, but still, though, like, even though, the offensive line that I was with didn't play on Sundays, but still, like, a damn good college offensive line is still what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yes, we had like 9 starters returning.
You had some All-Americans, too.
Yeah,
right?
we had
Was Willie B the only one?
Yeah, Will got All-American. Yeah, he was the only one. But we had but to your point, we had like 9 guys that had started games returning. And so, yes, this is the first time in a long time where you've had something like that, and I think it's going to pay huge dividends. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.